So hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. In this video, we are finally starting on the Avanti XL. So yeah, there's a lot to do. We went over it and evaluated what we are going to do. And as you can see, we're not at home because Wolfgang here is helping us. He is just getting back, hopefully getting back into flying. He used to build his own planes. This was one of his planes, the Viper Jet, and they had this one thing, 3D show fly. And he said he stopped that, but he might get into flying again. Got an Interceptor. We just did a few modifications, and this is one of his planes, which now belongs to the head of our club, and it just had a bit of an issue with the turbine or the turboprop. But yeah, we're currently trying to figure out the best way to get this stuff here hinged. Currently working on the rudder because that rod is not going in. The one I got originally was completely bent up. I want to note that this is a prototype. I honestly hope that it wouldn't be like this in the full series production, because this is all you can get throw for downwards. Maybe for aerobatic flying this is enough, but for 3D flying it's nowhere near enough. So yeah, now we're gonna cut this open so we can get a tube in there that can house this tube, and then we don't have to have too much effort on the rudder. So let's get that done. So guys, we just made a little cut here. We planned to go all the way down to replace the tube, but we figured out, I made some pictures for Seba, that the tubes that there is a tube in, but here they're broken off here and here, because I don't know what kind of tubes they are, but they were broken off in here, and here it was only broken off on one side. We got it through with a hook. We got this one back up, got everything nice run through, and got some CA to fix this one. And as soon as all these are aligned, it goes through here, even though this tube is swimming somewhere in the surface. So yeah, we'll get this filled back up with some epoxy, and then we'll get that on here, get our spar sealed off, and then the rudder is history for us, and we'll leave it like that, and hopefully it will hold forever. So guys, end of the day summary. So we just cut off the elevators, and originally my plan was to get just this cut out and get these balsa blocks glued in, but Wolfgang says he has a bad feeling in his stomach when we do that, because we are basically taking the back portion or the back structure apart. So we'll go ahead, get the whole thing out. We'll buy some 2mm plywood tomorrow, then we'll get this whole thing replaced with a 2mm plywood, glue those blocks behind that, and then we will get the actual hinges glued in before we get the whole piece glued in, so we can put more than enough epoxy on those hinges. So yeah, that's basically the next step that we will do. back in the working space, and we've gotten the Avanti wing, the old one, here to see what about Saber did there. We'll most likely change it. So Wolfgang went ahead and cut out the entire piece in the back, and we'll get new ones created and glued. And we currently don't have a proper idea how we'll do it yet, but hopefully we soon will have one. But that is the next step now. So guys, here are the other parts. We've got the rudder filled back up, our slot, we've gotten our rod through, our elevators, we've gotten the basic balsa down, so that's done with 24-hour epoxy and some, I think it's similar to micro balloons, but it makes the epoxy not run and stronger. And we've done that so that we can then later on go ahead tomorrow sand this down flush, so we have a nice flush surface, and with some, and the balsa is nicely bonded to the composite material. So yeah, that's the main reason for doing this with the strong glue. So let's continue on whatever we want to continue. So guys, the elevators are basically done. They're currently drying. I already showed you that. We've gotten this block of wood in here. So this is a 2mm plywood, and on the back of that we've gotten our balsa blocks glued in, as you can see here. So this structure isn't glued in yet. So that's basically what we have here, and we will still have to fit all of that tomorrow, and we'll get this sanded down, and then we have to do another block on top of that with 5mm epoxy, which will get rounded off. Then we can finally get this fitted in, and this will probably get glued very last on this entire structure. And then we already got everything cut off the wings, and on the wings I really think that we don't have to cut this open because it's unnecessary. We'll just take an 8mm, glue it on top, because we also have the Erics behind it. And then currently we're getting ready to get our balsa epoxied on here. And yeah, then the distances between the ailerons which are messed up, or were messed up from the factory. I already tried fixing them once, but then I said I won't do that, and I'll just do like this. And yeah, currently I'm just wanting to order the tanks for this thing, the bladder tanks. We've gotten a liter smoke tank from my Avanti left over, which will be somewhere here or here, and I've made the decision that we'll rip out the duct, because this is a 3D jet and no high performance speed jet, and we definitely do not need a duct in this plane. And this thing, in my opinion, it will just cause us some issues with having to reinforce it, and it just will make the plane heavier. And if we rip this out, we'll make the plane a bit lighter in total, and I think it's just for the better. So guys, the wing side is done basically of here. We still gotta do this here in the wing, but it's gonna be a lot simpler hopefully in the wing, this install. But first, before we do that, we will go ahead and rip out this duct. Not really, but I mean, I ripped it off the bottom here already. It was fairly easy. I just squished in the duct, and you know, I just want it out so it can't cause us issues in the future, and this is no high performance jet. So I'll probably start from the outside, cutting somewhere here, and then continue from the inside to cut somewhere there with the Dremel. So that's the next thing we'll be doing. So guys, we're back at the Avanti, and thankfully Wolfgang here did a lot of work already while I was gone doing some other preparation for the jet power. He got the canopy back in place. He finished all of the surfaces, which is absolutely amazing. More than enough throw now. They are all perfectly sealed. These look beautiful, and as soon as this plane is painted in the right paint scheme, all that will work. So obviously done very professionally. Even the wings, I'll get one of those down in just a second, show you better, but everything is done very, very professionally here. And you can see, just as it was on my Avanti. So yeah, and all the surfaces are the same size now, and this is just beautifully done. And yeah, on the fuselage we're working currently, because we were originally getting the gear fitted in place, but then my idea was to put some carbon tape in here basically, which is this stuff, and we're gonna make a cross pattern like this. I'll put a picture in below, but if you look at the Carve 3D airplanes, they did the same thing with the carbon rovings, and for me it's more about this plane not ripping apart mid-air, because this is all extremely soft and flexible, and that's quite a bit too flexible for me. And the goal of these carbon bands is it doesn't weigh a lot, and it just helps connect all of the ribs with each other as if there would be a carbon spar going through, and especially in the back end it will help keeping those ribs strong and in place. And also we're currently planning putting another carbon tube, this isn't glued in place yet, but another carbon tube up there where this is, just a thicker one, to ensure this from ever the screws ripping out in this entire thing, instead of being straight with the body, the rudder being 90 degrees with the body. Because I saw a video of that happening, not with this specific plane, but with a 3D aircraft. And in my opinion, my Avanti, the rudder ripping off is enough planes ripping apart, in my opinion. So that will be done while I'm gone. And currently we are just getting a few things with the MB done to get that ready for the jet power, and later we'll go flying. But for now we'll get looking at the system back there, and yeah, so let's get to working again. So guys, here are the wings, basically done. So this is exactly done like on my smaller Avanti. Gotten the 2mm plywood in here, you've gotten the rounded off edges here, and then you've got these wood supports triangles, which were bolts on my Avanti. But yeah, so definitely have enough throw for 3D flying, and yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun plane. Definitely going to be a fun plane. So down we have a bit more than up, but that doesn't matter. This is still more than enough with the entire surface moving. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what we're going to do next exactly, but we're just kind of jumping around all over the place and trying to figure out all of the structural things we want to improve before we go ahead and put in servos and then later on paint it, because I don't want to go ahead and add anything later after the paint is on and scratch up the paint. So yeah. And also, if you remember the inlets of my Avanti at the bottom, since we have agreed on putting a 300 Newton size turbine in here, we will put these little intakes that my smaller Avanti had, or the smaller Avanti, and I can also put a picture in below of that. So we'll see what we continue with. While I was at Jet Power, Wolfgang basically almost finished the entire fuselage on what has to be done before you install the landing gear mount. That's all reinforced. Here everything got reinforced. This got reset higher so that the landing gear is on the same height with the front landing gear as the back landing gear, and also to support this, so I can put some nice wood screws in here. This back end had to be cut open and filled up where possible. And then we've gotten our carbon tape all along the plane. Right here, the wing tube is supported. We've gotten the turbine rails all glued in, absolutely beautiful. The holes that were here are filled in with balsa as well. So this is extremely strong, and also added carbon tube to add some extra strength right there. So this is insanely strong. There's a stand Wolfgang's currently working on, and next thing we will be doing with this foam block is I've gotten these two forms made. And if you remember on my smaller Avanti, we had an intake here, and we're going to do the same thing. And right now we're going to make a mold so we can make ourselves these parts out of fiberglass or carbon fiber. And then also we've gotten two beautiful carbon boards made really professionally. I have no idea where they are right now, but they look very good. In here we have gotten the back end of the plane right here, the carbon tape all along, and here's the added carbon tube. Sorry for being dark. Then we've gotten landing gear basically installed The electron got drilled up so it can adapt this landing gear. And yeah, on the bottom of the plane, with basically there is a piece cut out here so that the landing gear fits in properly, and then everything got filled up with it's like a can foam type material, and that worked out well as well. So next thing we're doing is we're making up some molds to get these inlets done up, because the last thing I wanted is ugly shields in the top of the canopy. So let's get to doing those now. So here you can see the carbon plates. These are done absolutely beautiful. I have no idea how to manage to get the carbon on with this beautiful. So we ended up not using the original plates. So these are newly made plates. I think it's 2mm of plywood, nice and strong. On the bottom there's a layer of fiberglass, and on the top there's a layer of carbon. Very beautifully done. And you've gotten the screw holes and the front plate as well. So yeah, let's continue to the intakes now. Positive forms. So basically the fuselage will be right here, so this will just be sticking out and we'll get it done out. So this one's sanded, still have to sand this, and then we'll put some packing tape over it. Then we'll get the cutout done on the fuselage, get this tacked in with some CA, then we'll laminate over top of it, and then we will get this out with some acid, or if we have packing tape over it with wax, we could just pull it out hopefully. So let's get to this, but this is basically just a one-use form for this. So let's get to sanding and then to tacking everything in place. Our holes are cut. I hope this is going to be more than enough for air, and currently these blocks are getting done up with some cellar tape, just so the epoxy doesn't stick to it. And one of these is already fine-tuned to fit everything. The other one still needs a bit of work with some sandpaper, and then that will fit as well. Our molds are in the plane. They've all been sealed off with some tape, just so no epoxy can leak through the bottom. And now we're currently preparing to get some fiberglass, 105 fiberglass, on the bottom of the plane. Here's a view from the inside of what this will look like. At the end of the day, we've gotten everything roughened up nicely. We just put some weights in the front, and the back is laying off so we don't indent these or push them back in. So let's get to some laminating. So guys, we've gotten all of our pieces of fiber basically out. This is carbon tape, which is only strong one direction. And then we've gotten our fiberglass, which is here is 104, and here's a stronger one. These are just 2 scraps. So we've gotten 6 layers on each, 3 layers of the 105 and 2 layers of the heavier one. And then over top, just to have everything strong so nothing implodes with the 350 turbine, we've gotten some carbon band over top to make it stronger. So guys, we're back here at Wolfgang's place. Avanti is in storage because it's pretty much ready for servos, which we got. So let me show you a little around this. First of all, we've gotten all of the surface or got epoxy on here and got fit perfectly onto everywhere. which is very nice. Also the rudder, the tip got done, as you can see, fitting nicely, and a bunch of stuff on the inside, so let's get into that. So guys, we've gotten obviously our carbon layups, I already show you that, but we've gotten our intakes here all finished up, ready to go. Beautiful intakes, and Wolfgang put a screen on here just so this can pull some air while during the flight. So that's amazing. Here you can see from the bottom in here. So yeah, and also the landing gear is in the wings, so we can go ahead and show you that. So Wolfgang redid that entire system. Let's get into the main room to show you that. So guys, we're in the next room because it's a bit noisy back there, because there's a CNC machine getting set up from Wolfgang. So yeah, this is the landing gear. Wolfgang did a bunch of stuff on this thing. So this is all in absolute amazing shape right here. So yeah, as you can see, he filled the old holes, he created an entire new mechanism, he got these all fit into the Electron, and this is amazing. He even changed the hinge type down here, so reinforced this thing. This is just a work of perfection, if you've ever seen one. Look at this. So yeah, extremely happy. So we're gonna get this thing hooked up, get some power into that, and get it working. And yeah, for the next video we will get started lighting install, and we've gotten all our servos, which we'll go through very soon. So guys, here you can see everything retracted. Obviously we're still getting an Electron wheel, but look at this. This is perfection, perfectly flush with the fuselage. Also the flap is getting matched to the wing, to the fuse. So yeah, all of this is finished. Absolute perfection. I'm still repainting. I think we're gonna go fairly simple and just paint over, because we have a 350 JetCat going into here. So I think that's probably what we're gonna do, and we're gonna repaint it in the scheme my Avanti, my small one is, which I want to be getting another one. So yeah, let's get this retracted so you can see a full cycle. Well, obviously still it's put on minimum voltage so we don't hurt the gear, but yeah, absolutely amazing. So yeah, next video we're gonna start with lighting install and stuff like that. So let's get into the next video, I guess. So guys, something that's also worth mentioning is this beautiful stand that Wolfgang built here. So this is very easy to take apart, just one screw. So it's basically 4 screws. Take this all apart. He's got a screwdriver made up a long one to get in the back here, even if the turbine's in, to get these screws out of here. And then here a kit for screwdrivers. Here is a screwdriver to take this apart. So this is absolutely amazing, all done. And here we've got a little screw copy. So yeah, that's amazing. So yeah, so thank you guys for watching from here on. So painting, I'll be doing that myself, and other than that, Wolfgang will be helping us with servo install and stuff like that, because he does things to perfection and I could never do it like he does. So it's just someone who helps me out a lot currently. So yeah, but anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button, and I'll see you in the next one.